me out of it. Dude. I was like, how old is he supposed to be? Like 30 something?
Something.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm like,
you're clearly 105. Your leg's gonna fall off.
I respect people in aging too, but like, where was that movie Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson had where it was damn, what was that movie called? Bucket List.
Yeah,
that's a good old man movie.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good. Every old man should just do a movie like that.
Yeah.
Like Irishman was not an old man movie.
I'll do you one better. It's Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones.
You could have put Morgan Freeman in any movie. He's always the old man.
They have an old guy movie, and it was hilarious.
What's my favorite?
Morgan Freeman's been an old man.
That's what I'm saying. He's been an old man
40
for
years.
He's definitely old now.
Like
he's 100% old.
Morgan Freeman came out looking like that. I've never seen him.
Me neither. There are no pictures of him as a boy. He's never
PJ's cameras, so
never been.
The moment you do action scenes and they look trash, like Tom Cruise is getting up there. As soon as he starts like kicking people and I don't believe it, I'm gonna be like, I'm done. I love Tom Cruise.
What about Tom Cruise? But Denzel definitely.
Denzel's getting up there, right,
bro? I haven't even seen it too.
You haven't seen it? Yeah, dude.
He looks like he is.
Which one was it? The movie? I forgot the name of it. His recent
Book of Eli?
No. His
Fences?
Equalizer. Equalizer, right? Like, you're just gonna tell me now that you're the Equalizer? Like, I don't believe I've seen it.
I've seen Equalizer 1.
Equalizer 1 was okay.
Equalizer 1 was
2. Because in the second one they got to up the ante. He's got to have people. I don't want to see this out of shape black guy. He looks like he smoked hella cigarettes and hella whiskey.
Does the jump cuts
I just did Bad Boys 3, and
yes,
I didn't think I was ever going to see a day where Will Smith doesn't look good doing action. And I went back and I was like, he wasn't this bad in Suicide Squad. I thought when I went back and watched Suicide Squad, he really didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do anything.
So there's like, damn, man, Will Smith is too old for action movies.
I'm telling you, Tom Cruise, man, this new Mission Impossible movie. If he looks old doing action scenes, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I will not watch that movie.
You thought he would watch John Wick? I think Keanu's doing his John Wick.
Did anybody here at this table see the last Rambo?
No.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I'm just trying to get some perspective.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see my legend. I don't want to see that more.
Guys, they're killing our heroes out here, guys.
That's like Hulk Hogan coming back and wrestling. Who's somebody hot right now?
Jesus Christ. Hey, guys, speaking of that, I think The Undertaker came back. I don't know if you guys saw it.
But like real quick though, that's a part of the reason that turned me off from wrestling. When like all the old people were starting to come back, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Yeah. I don't. What? No, I don't want to see you fall and break your
whole
hip.
theme of these guys that used to just be they used to be our heroes, man, and they're bringing them back.
Transitioning is hard, bro.
Like they're trying to bring back Jean-Claude Van Damme to do.
And the last time I seen him in an action movie, which was in a Sylvester Stallone movie, nonetheless. What was it? Expendables 3.
Oh,
it was terrible.
That was 10 years ago.
They kept showing him a decade ago. They kept showing him doing his signature leg split kick, but it wasn't him because they kept cutting to someone else like doing it. It was bad.
John Claude, when a friend of the pod, Jason David Frank, hemmed him up back in Mexico.
Friend of the pod.
You would think these old men would like have some awareness, like, dude, have some respect for yourself, dude. Like why are you out here?
I thought Stallone was going down that road when he was playing old Rocky.
Stallone still looks good though.
He does, but not in action, not in the movie. He looks good as a statue. Like if they want to replace Rocky, if they want to show him a statue with his hands in the air, doing and he's standing off on the sideline.
John Wick 3,
don't
man.
get that man a gun.
Listen, John Wick 3, Keanu Reeves.
John's getting slow, dude.
Bro, when everything looks great until he starts to run.
Yep.
He runs like nasty.
I'm with my girl, she's like, oh, he looks slow. And I'm like, nah, you gotta think about it. Like, all movies he just back to back. Like, this guy's been fighting for like 3 days. If you look slow in John Wick 4,
they did drop him off a building.
I know. He looked slow though.
He did.
Maybe he was playing it up. Maybe he was playing up those injuries.
He didn't look bad until he starts to run. When he starts to run, I'm like, oh God, you look like you're achy, bro. Like you look like you're
some doctor shows.
Yeah, it makes sense with the story, but like you're just like,
but you know it's because
it's like, damn.
You thought, hold on, real quick though.
Brought up Tom Cruise, and I was like,
but I was gonna say no. I want to go back to that real quick.
Yeah,
did you think he looked old in the last?
I don't even remember the last.
No,
one.
he did not.
I don't remember.
Because
last one he did.
I loved what is it?
But that was like 5 years ago, guys.
It was.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago.
The Mission Impossible.
The Mission Impossible just
It came out 5 years ago. He probably was doing those action scenes probably 7 years ago.
The last one came out like 5
The
years
movie
ago.
just came out last year.
No, it didn't.
Cavill.
With Henry Cavill. Yes.
That movie is old as.
No, he just came out with one last year.
Yeah.
Dude, really?
Nah, I don't know.
It was either last year.
Well, it was filmed.
I'm gonna say like.
Time of,
It came out in 2018.
Did it really?
Yes,
What's somebody look it up?
100%. It was one of my favorite movies that year. Remember, because I said it would be better than Infinity War.
Right. So it came. If it came out 2 years ago, he did those scenes 4 years ago.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't 4 years.
No,
they filmed it during
Man of Steel, not Man of Steel, but Justice League. It's the same.
Oh, that's true because they did the
He's been doing Mission Impossible since 1996.
Bro, he's still that movie was awesome.
This is the thing. Tom Cruise stays consistently in that shape.
He does.
But everybody falls off though.
No,
I mean at some point.
Everybody falls off.
to that point. So does Will Smith, and he still looked bad.
No, Will Smith looked like he
my
was.
word is Tom Cruise.
Will Smith looked like he had his shirt off in that movie for a second. Nah, you ain't work out as hard as you normally do. You looking like
I still remember Will Smith from I Am Legend.
No, he was in great shape.
Running off a building, jumping consistently, having directors tell him, "I need you not to make the jump,"
like,
and then actually make the jump look like he actually worked hard at it.
and no, Tom Cruise is still in great shape, and he like I said, I love those movies.
I'm telling you, if he looks old in that movie, I'm never watching another action.
I don't think Tom Cruise will do it though if he doesn't look good in doing it, because I've heard about his work ethic as well, and it's
like Top Gun.
Nuts.
Top Gun looks good because he doesn't. He's sitting. He's moving. He looks like he's like. I'm just like. Oh,
Go back and watch the fight scene in the last Mission Impossible.
That movie was ass. People like that movie. That movie sucked.
I like
That was dope.
It took 2 guys to beat up one Chinese guy.
Whoa.
First of all, that Asian dude was dope.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
That movie
he
sucked.
was.
That movie was awful. Every movie sucked. Only the last good was Mission Impossible 2, and that movie was ass.
Your badge will be collected on your way out. Your last paycheck will be sent to you within a week.
I don't remember. Like, what was the plot of Gold? I don't
doesn't
remember the
matter.
movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. The mission is possible.
I love Tom Cruise.
It doesn't matter.
What's the mission? What are we doing here?
I think the last Tom Cruise movie I watched was Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher was dope.
That movie was ass too.
Jack Reacher 2 was ass. Jack Reacher was good.
Jack 2 was bad.
Number 2 was terrible.
You know what? Enough of this Tom Cruise slander.
Tom Cruise, dude. I love Robert De Niro, man.
That's different from Tom.
Enough of this Tom Cruise slander.
Just saying, heroes are getting old.
You know what I mean? Like,
Heroes are getting old.
They are, man.
they are. But Tom Cruise still looks great doing his work. All right, so what have I been watching real quick? I've been on this documentary kick since the beginning of the year. I don't know why, but I watched the documentary called The Devil Next Door. It's on Netflix. It is about a man who's living in Cleveland, and he's basically like this old ass man, and then the Russian government basically says, no, you're Ivan the Terrible, who was a gas chamber. He ran the gas chambers during the Holocaust, killed tens of thousands of people, but he had basically came to America, had a family, working at the Ford plant and all this, and then the Russians like kind of leaked some information. It's like, nah, this dude is a war criminal, so he had to go to like Israel and like face his crimes as like an 80-year-old man, and it was incredibly interesting because there are so few Holocaust survivors left.
Yeah.
Honestly,
they still want their pound of flesh.
And this, for sure, and they should get it. Like, after watching this documentary, and granted, this was back in 1985 when this actually took place, so they may no longer be with us at all at this point. But they should, man, after watching, like, the footage and what these people had to go through, like, it's bad, but hearing it from, like, their mouth of having to be witness to their family members dying and then looking at the person who did it, and this guy had no remorse. Now, of course, he was saying that he wasn't this person, but, he would do stuff like, yo, I'm going to shake your hand. Like, to these people who, like, you murdered their family and made them pick up their bodies. And
wait, so he never admitted that he was the guy? He
never admitted to it. So
how did they know?
The documentary is interesting because they claim that he's this guy, Ivan the Terrible, or Ivan the Terrible. So, long story short, he ends up not being Ivan the Terrible. What? He was, in fact, though, somebody else who did work there, though. He just wasn't that guy. So, he was there. He did all these terrible things. He just wasn't the guy they thought he was. He eventually ends up dying because he ends up having to go back to trial. But it's just it was a very interesting documentary.
He died of
natural causes, yeah. And he never admitted
at 80.
And he never admitted to any of this. But
Ivan the Terrible died in 1943.
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what Wikipedia wouldn't tell you
There's
wrong
still people that think Hitler's somewhere living out his dreams.
Yeah.
Yes. And he also had the Gretal.
Right, though.
Yeah, no, a lot of those people, though, too, America brought them in. We took them in as well. So I just don't think he was one of them. Or maybe he wasn't. They just snitched on him. Who knows? The government's like, oh, yeah, no, we didn't do that. Get him out of here. Yeah, we don't fuck with him. So that was a cool documentary to watch, though. Very interesting. I learned a lot. But
seems like you single-handedly gonna keep Netflix afloat. You have another Netflix show on here.
I do have another Netflix show on here, Sabrina, and I didn't put on the teenage witch part because it's not really the teenage witch, but it's Sabrina. It was supposed to be loosely based off of the '90s TV show Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
which is based off a comic.
According to Chris. I wouldn't know, but this is part 3 of the Netflix series. And it's like, I'm shocked. Like, it's not bad. I started watching this with my fiance, and I was like, okay, I'm in. So I kept watching it. And the only part of it that's cringeworthy is that they're supposed to be teenagers, and like, but they have a level of sexuality, and that's kind of cringeworthy for me. Yeah, we're not going to get into Q. I'm ready to move on now. But no, Sabrina it's the third part of it. Basically, at this point, she's having to deal with being a teenager, of course, as teenagers do, and she's now the queen of hell. And so she's having to do like hell things, like drag souls to hell, things and stuff like that. Which is actually that was actually a cool part of the show. I would recommend you watch it because it's entertaining. Like it's entertaining, but like if you don't have much else to watch, or if it's like a slow time, like some of your shows.
Let me know when she gets to college.
If you were fans of the comic or the original show in the '90s, you're not gonna like it.
Well, like I said, this is one of those things where I feel like it was a different story. Like it was a story of its own. They needed something to get people to say, "Hey, I recognize that thing. Sure, I'll tune in." And they put Sabrina on it. You know what I mean? Because other than that, this show is not anything that you would remember. And like I said, it's a different show, but it's not terrible. It's not bad at all. Actually, it's interesting.
When they become Sabrina the college freshman, I'll watch it.
But then he can Sabrina the co-ed.
Okay,
you're a woman now. You're destroying this show.
Women's Live 101.
Ooh, Better Call Saul's coming February 9th to Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
But I would recommend I don't know. I don't watch Better Call Saul, but I would recommend you watch the documentary. It's very informative.
The Devil Next Door.
It keeps you. Yes, The Devil Next Door. It's just one of those things, man. It's like it's history, and again, you kind of get to get a perspective. Like I'm always looking for a better perspective on things, just to be better, more understanding, and that's one of those things that definitely did it for me. Sabrina. That's hit or miss.
Dude, this guy looks like he was in one of those camps, bro.
Which one?